I kind of confessed at the mastermind a little bit yesterday. I'm just like I'm like this big, soft teddy bear sometimes. Right? So if I'm watching American Idol and I see someone win, or I see someone, their whole life just changes in a moment. And
All right, you guys, I am so excited, so thrilled. I'm here joined with the one, the only Mr. Chris Patterson here in his home office. It's beautiful here in Atlantic Beach, Florida. You guys see this amazing rhino up above. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I'm excited. The whole point of this series is to really dive into the why behind some of the most amazing and leading coaches today. And as well, whenever I'm around these people, you guys, I get energized, I get fired up. And so it's my intention to share that with you guys, to get you guys fired up as well. So Chris Patterson, I've known him through Billie Jean and some other groups, I think. But essentially, it's been amazing. He's owner of a multi-million-dollar marketing agency here in Florida. And he also is an amazing coach with Live Large Academy Coaching. He is phenomenal. I worked with him directly, you guys. If I had not met Chris, which is what I hear a lot of people say, there's a lot of statements where somebody says, if it were not for Chris, and then there's something that follows. This man has amazing impact on my life as well as others. And I'm excited for you guys to meet Chris Patterson.
what's up, guys? How are you? How are you? How are you?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you
for allowing me here and hanging out with me.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about how you got into coaching. I know that there's a story, but
yeah, I'll try to keep the story brief because I know I can go I can go long with how that worked. Bottom line is I had a chance encounter with the great Zig Ziglar. 1997, he walked into a health club that I was managing. I was a huge fan of his. Mm-hmm. I signed him up for a membership, and after he said, yeah, I'll join, he said, Chris, I need a personal trainer. And I'm not the sharpest ball, sharpest bowling ball out there, but I had a light bulb go off. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a huge opportunity. I said, Mr. Ziglar, I'll make you a deal. I said, I will physically work on your body 3 days a week. I'll do the personal training myself if you'll just spend 1 hour a week working on my mental fitness. Mm. And he said, son, I like your style. And that's how we got working. And so I literally was mentored by the great Zig Ziglar every Sunday for 12 months when I lived in Plano, Texas.
Wow.
And it radically changed everything about my life.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, it's kind of interesting because you and I just finished doing our mastermind. We had a Live Large mastermind here in Atlantic Beach. Had a bunch of people come out. It was very, very good relationships that were built. But one of the things that I really enjoyed is how much of a difference that we made. Mm. And I think that's kind of the beating heartbeat behind any coach is, any coach worth their salt, they really do want to make a difference. They're thinking about their significance. They're thinking about their legacy. Honestly, they're probably really not thinking about themselves as much as they're thinking about everybody else.
Wow.
So that's how I kind of got into the whole coaching thing, and it's been a miraculous journey.
Yeah, and the story is amazing, you guys. You have to hear the full story because Chris goes really, really in and just lays it out like a movie. But that's phenomenal because that's, like you said, it's a chance encounter. Do you feel like coaching in this world that you're in, is it something that you feel like you were called to, right when we go into the title of the show?
It's interesting. I've had my agency. It's called Interchanges. I started it 19 years ago, and I enjoyed it. I got into it. I knew that the internet was taking off. I was studying the trends, so I knew it was a good business to get in. By the way, back then, my biggest competition was the Yellow Pages. People are like, I'm an old dinosaur in this business, right? But to answer your question, Parchelle, I always enjoyed the agency, but I didn't feel fully aligned with the agency because it really wasn't my calling. Interesting story is one time I heard Zig speak from the stage, and I kind of just blacked out for a minute, and it was kind of weird. I don't know if I'm not super spiritual or anything like that, but it was a moment that I had, and I really felt like I heard a voice saying, that's going to be you one day. Mm. speaking from stage. Now, at the time, I was terrified of public speaking, all right? And I'm like, no, that can't happen. But the reality is, here we are almost 25 years later, and I'm speaking around the country and different countries. I'm enjoying helping people and making a difference. So I absolutely feel like this is my calling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And there's a feeling with it too. It's like when you're in that place. So that's amazing. So tell me about maybe one life that comes to mind. Tell me about the one life for you when you think of that person, that you really, really made a difference for, that always kind of hits you.
Gosh.
And I know that there are probably several, but if there was one that you could pick today, what life that you feel like you're most proud of as a coach?
Gosh, that's a really, really tough question. I mean, I've coached hundreds of people over the years,
Wow.
But I would say some of the recent victories, just to keep it real fresh, is who you met, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Sullivan.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you a quick story. He came to me about 2 years ago. I said, why are you here? He said, I think I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur. Can you help me get into business? I said, sure. I said, what are you doing now? He says, I've been in the military for 16 years. I said, you've never done anything in business? He said, nothing. So he hired me. And I was honestly a little nervous. I'm like, okay, we're taking a rookie and trying to get him into get him going.
Yeah.
But he was so intense and amazingly coachable, and he did everything that I recommended that he do, everything. And when he did, he ended up writing a book in the first year. He started his business in the first year. He made a bunch of money on his business in the first year with me. And then year 2, he said, Chris, I want to sign up for another coaching session with you for another 12 months. I said, great. About 3 months into it, he says, Chris, I'm quitting the military. I said, you're like a ranger.
Yeah.
Like he literally got one of the top 2 spots competing against 400,000 other people. So this is not like a low-level guy in the military. This is a very high-level guy in the military. And he said, I'm quitting. And I said, why? He said, because I can't afford to stay. So he's literally tripled his revenue since he started working with me. And that's just one of my recent victories, I should say. But that one really stands out. I love seeing people's potential being met. And that's really what I'm all about.
And what is that feeling like for you when you talk about that sort of impact? Describe that feeling.
I kind of confessed at the mastermind a little bit yesterday. I'm just like I'm like this big, soft teddy bear sometimes. Right? So if I'm watching American Idol and I see someone win, or I see someone, their whole life just changes in a moment, and the gold confetti falls, and like I love all that stuff. And what's the other one? America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I sit there and the reason, I don't know why, but just emotionally, when somebody wins, especially somebody that's come from nothing, or somebody that's been an underdog their whole life, and all of a sudden it feels like it's in a moment their life changes. Like I'm literally emotional right now. I got goosebumps talking about it. I didn't get that when I was doing digital marketing. It was like, well, can you get us more leads? Yeah. It was, you know what I mean? So as far as the fulfillment side of this, personally for me, I've never been more fulfilled.
Wow.
I just turned 50 this year. I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Wow.
And I think the purpose, or the reason I'm happy, is because I'm helping so many other people win in life. And that's what it's all about for me.
That is amazing. That's amazing. You guys, Chris, I'm so grateful. I really am to even have met you and to have connected and learned from you as well. So I just got to do what you say. That's it, That's
one of the wisest students I had is said, hey, Chris, when you tell us something to do, I execute first and I think about it second. I'm like, that's the proper way. Yeah. You hired me for some wisdom. You hired me for some guidance. You hired me to give you the flashlight so you can go down the right path. Just follow it. And so the people that typically end up succeeding most are the ones that are just that coachable, and they just go, what should I do? And then they do it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, what's the most frustrating aspect, I guess, with that? Because you, like you said, you're working with a lot of people, and I know in that role it comes with its challenges. What's
the most frustrating? I would say for me, probably the most frustrating thing, which doesn't happen very often, but there has been a couple instances over the last 10 years or so where I know somebody has massive potential. and we just can't get past their mind knots. Now that's a term I had coined a couple years ago. Is, we all receive messages when we're young. Some are audible, some are visual, and some we just think of. But these messages, like, one of the messages I received when I was young is I watched my parents go through a divorce. Now, I was only 9, 10 years old, but all I heard them fight about was money. So all of a sudden I received a message that you can't be happy unless you have tons of money. Now, that was a mind knot.
Right.
That was a self-limiting belief.
Right.
It was limiting me from happiness, right? So if you can get people's knots untied, you can free them so that they can go be and become the very best version of themselves. So to your question, there has been a couple times where we haven't been able to crack the code. Not very often, but there's been a couple times, and I don't know if it's, I think there's been a couple times where it's just been resistance. Fear's a powerful thing.
It is.
Fear's a powerful thing, and especially when somebody hates change. And you're trying to get they hate change, and you're trying to get them over the hump, and they're still just resistant. And it's usually just fear that's holding them back. So if I can't break through that fear barrier, it's very difficult to untie those mind knots.
I can imagine. Well, for one of you, because I know you've had experience too with, like you said, mind knots yourself. What do you feel like is the key to breaking through? It's exploratory. I'm thinking of a guy that I'm mentoring right now, and one of the exercises I gave him is he had a very negative thought life, and it was all, hey, I'm no good, and I'm a loser, and I'm never going to get anywhere, and I can't make money, and all of these, just terrible self-talk. And I just said, look, I want you to write down every negative thought that you have this week for a week. Now, typically, we have the same thoughts every day. About 95% of our thoughts are the same every day, right? Jeremiah actually shared that with us. But for a week, he had to go through and just write down all the stuff. And he ended up with like three pages of paper, all of negativity. Wow. Yeah.
So I said, look, this is a simple exercise. I said, but it's probably going to be very effective for you. I want you to take those papers, go outside, set them on fire. And when you see that smoke going up in the air, that's the release of all this negativity. And just a simple little exercise like that, he was changed.
Wow.
He was changed. He's like, Chris, now I need to fill up my mind with positivity. I'm like, bingo! So it's just those kinds of opportunities that are just phenomenal.
That's amazing. Well, so with that said, how would you describe your coaching style?
My coaching style, from what I've heard from other people, they feel like I'm a friend or a brother. I'm not one of these, all over people. I don't like yelling and screaming.
Right.
You don't have to be effective that way. By the way, fear motivation works, but it's very short-lived. And I'm more into empowering people to become the best that they can be. So I really try to analyze where they're at. I observe a lot. There's often I'll come back and say, hey, I've observed over the last 3 phone calls, you said you were going to be on time, but you didn't come on time. You didn't do the homework, or so I go through those things and observe, and I just say, hey, it's your life.
Yeah.
I can give you the best advice I can, but it's up to you to execute. So I think people enjoy the light accountability, which I don't think you need more than that.
Right.
You just need some accountability. By the way, 65% of your goals can typically be accomplished better if you tell somebody. If you have a regular accountability appointment with somebody, you've got like a 90% chance of accomplishing your goals. So accountability is important, relationships important. And to me, results are the most important. I want to get people results.
That's amazing. So tell me a little bit about your mission and what's next for you. We just finished it was your first mastermind event that you did, which was incredible. You guys come to the next one, please. But what's next for you, and what's your mission?
What's next? Somebody asked me that question yesterday, and I said, the only thing that I want to do right now, I've got one sole purpose. Zig Ziglar's most famous quote is, you can have everything you want in life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. I need to find enough other people so I can get them what they want.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing masterminds. I'm speaking in California this year. I'm going to be all over the place. I'm doing more video this year, probably more than I've ever done.
Ooh.
But I just want to get out. I just want to get out.
Yeah.
I want to share my message. And I don't think it's about me, by the way. I want to make it clear. I've learned so many lessons in business now. My one business 19 years, but I've been in business 30 years of business experience. I've learned a tremendous amount, usually from my failures. So I've got a lot to teach people. Yeah. Here's what not to do. So I got a lot of, but then the other side of it is not only do I have the business education, but I've also got the personal development side of it, because I've been a student of the Ziglar philosophy for 20 plus years. So, the two of those together, I think really, really help out.
That's awesome. You guys, Chris is, if you have not met somebody who, maybe you are with a coach right now that's not, I need to edit that out. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Start over. You got it.
You guys, if you are looking for transformation in your life, in your business, I highly recommend that you reach out to Chris. Set up a call with him and really just dive in. Listen to what this man has to say because he's coming from experience and he has an amazing heart for people. So, Chris, thank you for
my pleasure.
Your time.
And for your audience, Parchelle, I don't normally always do this, but put a link below. And if anyone's interested in a 30-minute conversation, free consultation, I call them breakthrough sessions. Let's schedule a 30-minute breakthrough session with me and let's explore possibilities.
Absolutely. Now, Chris, last question for you. I believe in simplicity and in the power of words. So if there was one word that you can leave with the audience that resonates Chris and his word, what is that one word that you would leave with us? My
word, or what word I would prefer people focus on?
Whichever one. Let's go with to focus. Let's make it.
I think the number one word for getting ahead in life is discipline. Freedom comes from discipline, not the other way around. And too many people are trying to get away from being disciplined. Too many people are trying to get away from more work. Too many people are trying to get away from more responsibility. But the harder you are on yourself, the easier life's going to be on you. So the simple term there is, I need to be a disciplined individual. I need to be a meaningful specific, not just a wandering generality.
Right.
So the more meaningful and specific and intentional and disciplined you can become, life's going to reward you mightily.
Wow.
So that's my word for you guys out there.
Discipline, you guys.
Stay disciplined, people.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Parchelle.
Right. See you guys soon. Peace.